Hey Radiant Soul, have you ever felt God pulling you forward, but your heart still reaching back? A dead-end job with little to no opportunity for advancement, fulfillment, or meaningful change? A dead-end relationship feeling stagnant, emotionally draining, or misaligned with your values? A dead-end habit that keeps you stuck, often sabotaging your growth or peace? A dead end is often where God invites us to surrender. Not because we failed, but because He's preparing a new beginning. Have you ever stood at the edge of something new while the ashes of yesterday whispered your name? This is for the soul who's walking away from what once held them. For the one who knows it's time to go, but still feels the ache of what's behind. Today, we remember Lot's wife, not to shame her, but to see ourselves in her story. Sometimes the cost of clinging is the very thing that keeps us stuck. In Genesis 19:26, we meet a woman whose name we do not know, but her story is etched in salt. Lot's wife. A woman caught between what was and what could be, between destruction and deliverance, between memory and movement. But Lot's wife looked back, and she became a pillar of salt. You don't need a name to leave a legacy, just a moment of decision. She wasn't just looking back at a city, she was looking back at a life, at routines, at relationships, at comfort, even if that comfort came with compromise. Sodom was corrupt, yes, but it was also familiar. And sometimes the familiar is the hardest thing to leave, even when God says flee. Lot's wife walked away with her feet, but her heart stayed behind. And in that space, between obedience and longing, she turned. Familiar doesn't mean safe, and comfort doesn't mean holy. She turned, and in that turning, she froze. Not just physically, spiritually, emotionally, a pillar of salt, preserved in regret, a monument to the cost of clinging. I wonder what she thought in that final breath. Was it really wrong to look? Was I really ready to leave? Will I ever feel whole again? But the fire behind her was not hers to mourn. The future ahead was not hers to fear. And the turning, that single aching turn, was enough. One glance can anchor your soul to what God already burned. How many of us are walking forward but still glancing back? Still replaying the old conversations? Still mourning the comfort of dysfunction? Still holding on to what God already released? We say we've moved on, but our hearts are still tethered to the version of us that settled, to the people who couldn't stay, to the places God burned down for our healing. And like Lot's wife, we risk becoming monuments to moments that were never meant to last. You can't walk into healing while holding hands with history. God's call to Lot's family was urgent. Flee. Don't look back. Because sometimes survival depends on surrender. Sometimes healing requires release. Lot's wife didn't trust that what lay ahead was better than what burned behind. And that's the tension we all face. The ache of transition. The grief of obedience. But God doesn't call us out to leave us empty. He calls us out to lead us forward, to restore, to rebuild, to renew. Obedience isn't just movement, it's trust in what you haven't seen yet. So if you're standing at the edge of something new and the past is whispering, don't look back. Don't cling to what God has already released. Don't mourn what He's already judged. Don't freeze in the place He's calling you to flee. You are not a pillar of salt. You are a vessel of light, a soul of movement, a person of forward grace. The wilderness may feel lonely, but it is holy. The unknown may feel heavy, but it is sacred. And the God who called you out is already preparing what comes next. You weren't made to be a monument. You were made to be a messenger. The past may echo, but your future sings. If this message stirred something in you, a memory, a release, a quiet, you are not alone. And until next time, Radiant Soul, may your steps stay steady. Thanks for watching.